Stop writing like a copywriter. Stop writing like a copywriter. Stop writing like a copywriter. I've been saying this a lot recently, and actually in yesterday's video that I did on writing in your client's voice, I said it again, and I had somebody leave a comment asking, Roy, you keep saying stop writing like a copywriter. What the heck do you mean by this? You're a copywriter, right? And yeah, I've made my living in direct response copywriting really since 2005 when I first discovered it, and as an independent copywriter and consultant since 2010, and building my own business through direct response copywriting and messaging. And here I am. I'm well known around the world as a direct response copywriter, and I'm saying stop writing like a copywriter. So what gives? So here's the thing. A lot of us learn copywriting from these classic texts, and we are told that we need to hand copy out all these successful advertisements in order to learn copywriting and learn the rhythm and flow of good copy. And while I don't fundamentally disagree with that practice, I also think that it misses just a gigantic chunk of what you need to understand in terms of being a persuasive professional who happens to put words on the page or into scripts for multimedia content or whatever. And what it is when you really internalize all of this classic copywriting, like over the top promises and like big bold headlines and all of this stuff, what you're learning is you're learning copywriting that's like decades old, that worked decades ago. And even though there are people who are still using it today, it's not necessarily what is working best today. And what is working best today is a different style of copy that like pulls back from all that over the topness that to me represents like the classic used car salesman, the classic infomercial pitchman, whatever. And instead it's this copy that's connecting with people on like a one-on-one basis where it feels like, hey, we're friends, we're in this together, we're working together, and we're going to get you the result that you want. And I understand people like you. And it's this copy that connects with your market, not just on this like this level of just like big promises and like, oh, I know what you want and I'm gonna get it for you now. But it like connects with people at a heart level. It like, hey, I understand what you're going through. I understand what your challenges are. I understand what you want. I understand the outcome that you're going for. I understand the result that you want, the future that you want your life to be. I understand your destiny for yourself, like what you dream of becoming, and I want to help you get there. And that's like a completely different angle, right? But if you're just learning all this classic over-the-top copywriting and all this classic over-the-top direct response stuff, like that doesn't connect. It doesn't connect on that level. And so it feels to your prospects like you really are not connected, right? And people want to be connected with today. People want that human connection, even if they know that they're buying from a company, and that company could be like a solopreneur, or that company could be a huge, dozens, hundreds, thousands of employees. They still want that human connection. And so more and more, like when I'm doing copy review services, like this is the kind of feedback that I'm giving people. I was recently working with somebody who has a medical clinic, and some of his copy was just like, telling client stories and saying, hey, I help people like this. And if you'd like me to help you, if you're dealing with some of the same stuff, I can help you out. And some of the stuff was like classic direct response. Like it looked like a sales letter on the page, and it read like a sales letter on the page. And it was like the guy was taught to write classic direct response ads. And when we compared the stuff, I said, okay, so what's working best? And he said, well, the stuff that is just kind of reads like an article in a client's story, like that's working really well. And this other stuff, well, it's kind of working, but it seems like it's only working when we're driving traffic from that other stuff that's working. And I said, well, why don't we change it? Why don't we make all of this like story-based and like connect with people and say, like, I understand people who are going through these challenges. Like I work with people who are going through these challenges all the time, and I can help you if you're going through these challenges. And And that's what we did, and it's working better. And he's had to shift his business a lot because of this whole coronavirus shutdown. But even like he's using the same principles of like he stopped writing like a copywriter, and instead he's just like telling these stories and connecting with people and saying, "Hey, I can help you," and it's working better. And he's getting like a ton of leads, and you know, he's managing how to shift his business, the fulfillment right now, based on not being able to see clients. But the fundamental messaging of, and that fundamental decision to stop writing like a copywriter has completely shifted his ability to connect with people and then get them to take action. And so like, while I still recommend, and while I still believe that you can get benefit from things like handwriting out classic ads and learning how these great ads from history have worked, I fundamentally believe that if that's what you do and you think that's going to teach you copywriting, you're going to be completely misguided by the time you're done. Because while a lot of those things do need to be internalized, and a lot of those things will make you a better copywriter, you're much better off looking at what's working right now and like figuring out what's working right now. And from knowing what's working right now, learning that stuff. And what you're going to find is more and more things that are like, hey, this is my story. I was having this challenge, you know, and here's how it was completely disrupting my life. And I was getting frustrated because there weren't solutions out there in the marketplace. And so like, I finally decided, like in a moment of total frustration, that I had to create the solution. And here's the process that I went through, and here's why it was so difficult to create the solution. Here's some of the challenges, and here's what I realized needed to be true in order for the solution to really work. And then, you know, it solved my problem. And then as people realized how effectively it had solved my problem, they were saying, hey, you got to share this, you got to share this, you got to share this. And so I've put this together for you. And now that I've made it available for you, like, here's how you can get it. And it's just like a story, or the exact same story, working with clients, the exact same story of like a client was going through that. Maybe you're not the person who was experiencing the problem, but you created the solution for somebody else, and now you're sharing it with the world. Like, these are the stories, or like you discovered the solution from someone who had it, but wasn't really sharing it. Now you want to tell their story. Like, these are very effective stories that work over and over again. And they're not about this over the top salesmanship of classic advertising. And that is the like stereotypical writing like a copywriter that so many people still do today. And when you read these, it almost doesn't read like an ad or like the classic ads. And that's why it works, right? And so if you understand story selling, like I teach in my story selling masterclass, if you understand how to apply that in terms of like the deep structure of a fundamentally effective sales message, like I teach in my high velocity copywriting, if you understand the psychology at work behind this stuff, and you understand all of that, then you have something to kind of like layer your message on top of, without all of this like superficial, like reads like old direct response ads. And then fundamentally, like, there's one more thing that to me kind of represents the difference between, oh, I'm learning copywriting, and so I'm going to learn to write like a copywriter, and so I'm going to like use all these headline formulas, and then the people who are actually effective copywriters. And the people who are actually effective copywriters don't start with like, oh, which of these 50 headline formulas is going to work for this ad that I'm writing. What they say is like, what the heck is my story here? What do I have to say? What message can I communicate that's going to like completely change the prospect's life? How can I like reframe the problem that they're experiencing, and then reframe the solution that they are looking for, such that it all points towards my product or service? And like, once you have something to say, And then you can like bring in these different elements, bring in story, bring in the deep structure, bring in the 3 big idea types that I teach in high velocity copywriting, bring all of this stuff in. Then your copy isn't necessarily going to read like copywriting, because you're not like using some plug and play templates which don't work, right? That's like writing like a copywriter, like writing like a copywriter. But instead, you're focusing on like the message that you actually need to communicate, that's going to shift people's understanding or belief about the problem or the availability of a solution, and it's going to make them choose to pursue your product or service or whatever offer it is that you put in front of them at the end of the presentation. And so like, if you think you need to write like a copywriter, if you think you need to write like who else headlines and how to, and 38 ways to get this without this, and like all of that, you learn those things, because they will find a place in your copy if you really internalize them. But don't start there. Instead, start with like, here's my story. Here's what I have to say. Here's the important message that I have for you. And that stuff, when it resonates, it completely changes the game in terms of the response that you're getting from your marketing. So I've mentioned a lot of training in this, and I do just want to say that all of that is available through a BTMS Insiders membership. I'll make sure to include a bunch of links in the description with this video. If you like this content, like if this resonates with you, make sure that you click like on the video so other people like you can find it more easily. Leave a comment, share, like, does this clear up your understanding about why I keep saying this? Or does this make you rethink about how you are writing your marketing messages? If you know other people who would find it valuable, feel free to share it with them, tag them in the comments, whatever. And I would love it if you subscribe here, and go to breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com as well. Get my daily emails Monday through Friday with articles, essays, and videos about how to be a more effective marketer, copywriter, entrepreneur, build your business, be more successful. And I'm on a mission to help 50,000 marketer entrepreneurs build a better business through more effective marketing, and lead happier, healthier, more prosperous and impactful lives, and to help those in their business and in their communities and in their orbit experience the same benefits. My name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and I look forward to seeing you again in your next video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.